The housing market is cooling off. There is no doubt about that, but I promise there is no room to panic. What's going on, everyone? It's Spade at Keller Williams Realty, and I bring you these videos to help you make sense of the real estate market. So let's talk for just a second about what is happening in the real estate market. First of all, we are not going to see a crash. So inventory levels have gone back up to where they were pre-pandemic. That means we've got over 4,000 houses on the market, which is actually a good thing because at the beginning of January, we only had about 1,300 homes for sale in all of San Diego County. Now, does this mean with the interest rates going up, we're going to start to see a crash in the real estate market? No, we're not, because back in 2008, what ended up happening was people were getting loans that were no good or they were subprime loans. So that was directly attached to the financial markets. That's not happening now. What is happening is interest rates are creeping their way back up to what they were 16 years ago when I got into the business and I was writing contracts at 6 and 6.5%. So what does that mean if you are in the market to buy a home? It's actually simple. What we need to do is we need to keep an eye on two things: what you can actually afford and the interest rate, because it's changing constantly. So how do we keep track of what you can afford? That's simple. We get in touch with your lender on almost a daily basis to find out what you can afford in today's market, since everything is going up and down. Now, interest rates are between 5.5% and 6% depending on what your credit score is. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're putting you in a position to make you become a strong buyer. Now, people keep asking me, do you think the prices are going to come down? Yes, in some cases I think that the prices are going to come down slightly, but like I said, they're not going to bottom out like they did in 2008. You are not going to see prices drop 40, 50, 60% in some neighborhoods. We might see a slight decrease in prices of about 10%. We're also going to be seeing sellers give a few more concessions. So as a buyer, you can probably ask for some closing costs right now, which are going to help you on the purchase of your home. And if a seller is truly motivated, then they're going to probably give those to you. You could also ask the seller for an interest rate buy down, which will help get your interest rate down to a more comfortable level. It won't go back down to 3%, but it'll be slightly more manageable. What are some other things that you can do to save money as you're looking to buy a home? Look for a home that's Mills Act approved. Now, typically these are older homes that have gone through the historical designation process. It's a very, very good way to save money on your taxes, and you'll be able to afford a little bit more home. Now, for more information on what Mills Act means, just click the link below and we'll be able to link you up so you can do some studying on that. The other thing that I would advise you to do is curb your spending a little bit. The inflation numbers came out and we are at 9% inflation. That's quite high. So the cost of goods, services, gas, groceries, all those things are going up. But as unemployment goes down, people are feeling more comfortable with their spending, which means the Fed has pressure on rates to rise. So my advice is, as you're looking to buy a home, make sure that you're buying under your budget. Remember, this is not going to be your dream home or your forever home. This is just going to be a home that you are going to live in, use it as an asset, build up the equity, and then move on to the next property. Now, if you are a seller in this market and you want to sell your home to move to another home or move out of the state, there are a couple things that you can do to keep the buyer in play. I've said this before and I'll say it 1,000 times again. The first thing that you can do is get pre-inspections on your property. So that means getting a full physical inspection on your home, termite inspection, foundation inspection if you have a single family detached home, and then also make sure that you do a sewer scope inspection, because San Diego is on cast iron and a lot of that cast iron is starting to fail. We want to make sure that there are no surprises when the buyer comes in and does an inspection. Now, doing this is going to pull a lot of negotiation out of the process, which is going to make it easier for you in the long run in order to keep the buyer in play. And as I mentioned before, it wouldn't hurt to offer some sort of credit for a rate buy down. Now, rate buy downs just depend on what the interest rate is, loan amount. It's not a hard set number, so you do have to check with the buyer's lender, but that is always another option as well. Now, this market is ever changing, and if you guys have any questions whatsoever about what's going on, feel free to reach out to me. I want to be your real estate resource of choice. So if you have any questions, send me a direct message or you can text me at 619-818-2992. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, this is Spade at Keller Williams Realty, where I take the stress out of your real estate transactions.